Hey everybody, this is the Cullen and Rex podcast, and today you're going to be listening to us trying to...
Figure out retirement and figure out what the hell we want to do with our lives.
Yes, and we've obviously not retired before. We're actually like some 20-year-olds, but we've been kind of like thinking about it pretty hard.
And thinking about what we would do in retirement and how retirement isn't necessarily this end-all be-all thing. Like, we're meant to do stuff with our lives.
And thankfully we've had two people in our lives who've retired.
Hopefully learn from them and learn from their mistakes so we don't have to make them ourselves.
Here it is.
Pew! Not contrary, but I want to work this in. So, this is the idea that I was like reading about, and like instead of having like most people set up. I'm just gonna zoom out a bit. Most people set up retirement, and they're like, dude, like retirement, dude, like, oh, I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited for retirement. Like, I'm gonna no work, no responsibilities. Like, I'll be chilling. And it's like, okay. But then they're just like, oh, you can.
No, go ahead, bro.
Like, okay, so most people get stuck in the hamster wheel, right? And then at some point they're like, fuck, I want to retire. And then they're just working to retire. Mm-hmm. But then, even if retirement comes, they're like, what the fuck do I do now? And you just have this vacuum of time, right? Mm-hmm. And like, some people end up like figuring out their shit, or some other people just end up keep working. Okay. Or you just like progress higher on the corporate ladder. That's why some people making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and just keep working. Like, bro, you could have retired already, you know?
Yeah.
Even if it would mean some slight step down in the way you're living. Yeah. Other people could do it without stepping down. They have like a shitload of money in the bank.
Yeah, but they just like choose to keep working.
Because they don't really know what they're going towards.
Or so it's just to maintain their own shit. They have a lot of shit too.
They do have a lot of shit, yeah. But some people are totally financially capable, and they just like don't, because they like don't really know. Mm-hmm. And the guy phrased it really well. It was Tim Ferriss. He's the guy who wrote it. And it was like we just keep working and just like keep climbing up that financial ladder, because the alternative is like we actually have to examine our life and figure out what we want from it. And so like people think that like even if they don't think that like money's the answer, they just like want to get to the next level because they don't want to face the reality of like, what do I actually want? And so I want to set it up right now, which I think we are kind of doing, of like, I want to base these numbers around the reality that we want to be living, which is travel, and hopefully should be less than 50,000, including maxing out Roths, etc., etc. But I want to get the number based around like a type of reality that we'll be living. So it's like we're running towards something as opposed to away from something. That was this other concept I heard from like this podcast. It was like retirement should be you running towards something as opposed to you running away from something.
Why am I running away from it?
Like if you don't like people who don't like their 9-to-5 job, like, oh dude, I need to retire. Like I can't wait to be done with my job. I can't wait to just relax. I can't wait to just be like chilling on a beach in like Cancun, like just relaxing on the beach, drinking my pina colada. Yeah. And then, actually, this was from a while ago. Who was it? Who's that fucking psychologist? He's like kind of controversial.
A random psychologist?
No, he's like fucking Jordan Peterson.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, yeah, but how long can you be chilling on a fucking beach in Cancun before you get bored?
For sure, yeah.
Like, I think we already kind of knew these things, but they're kind of culminating together. Like, yeah, obviously, so you're not, it shouldn't be something you're running away from, like, oh, my job, my responsibilities, my stress.
Correct.
Because you're always going to have that shit, no matter where you are, some sort of responsibilities and stress. But it should be in the type of field and work that you like to do.
Correct.
And I think the way that we both operate, to some degree, we will be working, and probably, like, working on projects that probably help people, just because that's, like, type of shit we like to do, and some of it might not like bring in that much income, and I want that freedom to not have to work. Yeah. But I think in a weird like ironic twist, when you are free from that, you start working on shit that like actually you care about, and then you're 10 times more productive about it anyways.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Because you no longer have this financial burden, and then it ends up bringing in more revenue anyways.
Correct.
And I think that will happen.
Hmm.
So I don't necessarily want it to be like, we got to get all this money, like 5 years. 5 years, I want to have a baseline. We're going to be working anyway, so we might as well
That's what I'm saying.
jack those numbers
That's
up.
what I'm saying. Yeah, but go ahead.
10 years, though, I think once we get out, I'd like to have a minimum, a bare minimum, so that we can say fuck it totally.
Hmm.
Like, if shit goes down the drain, okay, then yeah. Like, worst case scenario, we can always fall back on our comp-sci, Air Force, and OR degree
Correct.
in some shape or form
Mhm.
and get a job. But I want to be able to have enough financial freedom to say, fuck it. Even if it's not for the rest of our life, because that's a lot in 5 years. But enough to say, like, I'll be set for many more years before I actually have to start working to give us that peace of mind
Yes.
to do what the fuck we want.
Correct.
So that by the time we hit that 10-year mark, we'll have already moved into a field where
What
we're
we love
probably
to do-
making more money anyways as a byproduct of enjoying the work that we do.
No, yeah. And I feel like you've said kind of what I said in different form, mostly. So I think we're on the
Probably,
same page.
yeah.
And that's, I think, yeah, like you said, within these 5 years, we may have to do shit we don't like to do necessarily, but it's for us to get that passive income so we can be financially free. So within those next 5 years, when we're financially-ish free, bare minimum living below our means, we can finally figure out what that is. We can find that tool that we really like to use, and then we can continue to sharpen it throughout and be the best at using that tool, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I feel like we found out that OR isn't quite the tool. I know we've talked about it, necessarily. It's not like quite the tool we want to keep refining.
Yeah.
Maybe a different aspect of the tool, but not like what we're doing right now, So like it hurts me to keep sharpening it when I don't like to, if that makes sense.
Right.
I'm getting better at using a
agree.
tool I don't really like using, but I'm using it in order to continue to get money.
Okay, so what are you saying? What does that mean?
Oh, that eventually we will find the tool, and I think we need to double down on making sure we're financially free in 5 years.
So should we keep sharpening the tool right now?
I think yeah, unless we come up with an epiphany of something that we actually want to do, or actually find a tool that we really just want to die with.
Okay, then with that in mind, what we're doing right now is opening a business, sharpening this tool that we don't really enjoy.
I know, that's what I was thinking, and it was kind of contrary, but I was just hoping we could sell it, make some money. We're only really mostly doing it for money, but I feel like we do want to help people out, and that's how we're justifying it.
I know, and that's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I know, and I feel like when it goes hard, we'll probably be like, bro, it's not even what I really want to do. Plus, I got another fucking job anyways. But I do want to do it so we can at least know how to start a company.
And at least, because that's our best option.
Yeah, that's the sandbox that we're talking about. And there's no entrance fee, like you said. There's no money down. It's a fucking online company. So I think it is good, but yeah, if you zoom out more, it's kind of not really what we're trying to aim for. This tool will lead us to the tool we want, is what I'm hoping.
Okay, how about this then? So we don't personally want to sharpen it, and we kind of already know that. I think it'd be good to have some level of sharpening, because
we have nothing really.
Yeah.
Here's our resume. I really don't know anything.
Yeah.
At least we have something.
I feel like that's what it's gonna be. 5 years, we're gonna be like, dude, what the fuck did we learn? Be like, I don't know. I feel like we know shit, but I can't put it on paper. I know how to deal with people. I know how to, but I have nothing to put on a resume.
Dude, I know, bro.
But that's kind of what I want. I don't really give a fuck, because the goal is that I hope to never have to give somebody my resume again.
Yeah, you just
At the very least, after 5 years, yeah.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
Okay, so sorry, I got sidetracked. If we can knock out these projects, which might be painful, I'm gonna be honest with you, they might be painful.
It'd be painful, but I think we can get through it because the vision is so juicy. To be honest, can you imagine, bro? Just hanging up your coat and then you just leaving, bro. You're one case. You have a duffel bag that your friend's carrying with your real shit, and then you just have your Osprey, and that's it, bro. You in the road, dude. That's just too good for me, bro.
Right. But I think we can also get through it. But I don't want it to just be drudging just because that's our only option for financial
I don't think it's
success.
total drudging. I think we are gonna like good portions of it. It's not like crawling through mud.
I do too, and like we enjoy working with Sally
Yeah.
in the greenhouse.
I don't think it's gonna be painful. Parts we don't like, parts we like.
Yeah.
All of their free time languishing and just praying and hoping for retirement, when in reality, that's not how it is. And I want to shape those people's points of view who just lean on their job and lean on these external, I guess, factors that are dictating their life for them, and help people realize that, like, you can dictate your own path just by adding your own interests and your own hobbies and things you you enjoy, and start doing those now instead of like waiting for this mysterious retirement.
Yeah, this like, it's like the pinnacle in their lives, this retirement. Then I can do the things I enjoy.
I'll just wait until I retire.
We romanticize this thing, dude.
Dude, once I get there.
And once I get there, maybe I'll pick up mountain biking, dude.
Like, when will I be able to slow travel? Oh, dude, when I retire.
That's right.
Dude, when can I spend time with my friend? Oh, when I retire.
Yeah, I guess it's like, yo, bro, wake up. You can do this now. You can do this.
And you have to do this now, because otherwise you're going to get to retirement, and, like, yeah, sure, you might dabble, but you're going to be old.
Yeah.
And you won't have already built up the habits of you doing things you enjoy.
Yeah, dude, I feel like we should do one on, like, for people who, like, graduate college and realize all their friends go away. I don't know if I'd listen to that, though. If I was, like, in college and I was listening to someone be like, yo, dude, like, trust me, when you, like, when you go to college, like, you need to, like, stick with all your friends. And then I'm like, oh, uh-huh. And then, like, you know, afterwards we, like, don't have friends.
No, because it can help you be appreciative for what you have.
Maybe appreciative, okay. I don't know if it'd change. You think it'd change anything?
I think it would change, because I remember somebody once told me that when I had like a year left of college. And I think it did. Actually, somebody told me that freshman year, and it shifted my perspective. He was like a graduating senior, and he told me that. And he was like, yeah, dog, like, everybody says it, time flies, but really focus on what you have right now, and think about a year ago and how fast that time went. That's going to be exactly how the next year is going to go. And, like, if I sit here and visualize where I was a year ago, like, what is it, October? I remember exactly where I was. I went to a Halloween party. I was with a couple of my friends, and we went to this house. We, like, hung out. We all got drunk, and then now that's like another reality. Like, comparing that to where I am now, it's like a totally different reality. Like, another part of the country, totally different people, totally different location, totally different people around me. Like, everything about it was different. And I guess it shows me, every time I think about backwards, it shows me how fast it's going to go moving forward. So it helps me be more appreciative for what I have now. And the things that might not be there in the future.
Dude, I remember this one time I was with because I remember it's like almost like looking back at a time capsule. You're like, whoa, and then now you're like, oh, like I'm like not completely different, but my mindset has been changing. I like feel like a lot has been changing.
Yeah.
And hopefully for the better, because I remember senior year, dude. I've been wanting to tell you this story, bro. Senior year, bro. I like haven't seen Kaiser in a while, and I finally got to see him at lunch, and I was like, Kaiser, bro, and I was just fucking rubbing him, bro. I was like, fuck, Kaiser, I miss you, bro. I was like feeling him, bro, because you normally, like, the freshman and sophomore year, we'd always just like, bro, how are you, bro? You doing good, bro? Yeah. And I haven't like touched Kaiser in so long. And senior year, I was just like, oh. And then we like left because it was just like one dinner. We had fucking dinner together, and then I didn't see him for a while. And then I remember sitting in my chair at the academy, just sitting there, and I was like, had to do work, but dude, something happened that day. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna think for a bit, take some time to think. And I was like, the first like protruding thought in my mind was like, dude, I miss Kaiser, dude. And I remember I like debated real quick because I like sent him a text right after. I like typed up a text. I was like, Kaiser, bro, like I really fucking miss you, bro. And I was like, I'm about to send it. I was like, maybe that's like too much, bro. Maybe I'm like, because I don't like being super like. Yeah. I didn't always like being super honest with other people. And I remember that was like the one time I kind of like hesitated before I sent the message. I was like, oh man, maybe you think it's like kind of weird or something. But I was like, you know what? Fuck that, bro. Accept me how I am. And I clicked that message. But I remember like doing that, and now I wouldn't hesitate sending a message like that.
Yeah.
And it's just something small, but I remember that vividly.
Showing your shift in mindset.
Yeah, showing my shift in mindset. Now I'm like, oh, like I really do miss this person, like sincerely, and I want them to know. I really want them to know.
Yeah.
And I remember I sent that to Kai's. I was like, I sent him a message. I was like, hey man, like, sorry. I was like, I was like fucking rubbing on you at dinner, bro. I just fucking missed you, dude. And I didn't really realize until I thought about it later. Like, I do want to continue to spend more time with you. And then I sent that to him. And he was like, he like called me. He's like, bro, I miss you too, bro. I was like, fuck, Kai's, we were thinking the same thing, dude. I don't know. I just remember that. And those are like little things. I'm like, oh man, like, and then like a year before that, no way I'd tell somebody like what I really thought. Yeah. You know, like you were in my life too. I wasn't gonna
walled up.
Yeah, I was walled up. Dude, I was bricked up too, bro. I was walled up. I was walled up, and people would ask me things. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking tell them what's in my mind. Fuck them,
dude. Steel trap in my mind.
Yeah,
right now.
dude.
Like, nobody getting it.
You ask me something, before you know it, we're gonna be talking about you.
Yeah.
And then like that was like one of the first steps I remember.
And then I guess like shifting forward, like forward thinking, like a year from now, like, dude, it's gonna be the same way. I feel like we're gonna like look back and be like, oh, dude, like remember that time we were in Mississippi, like with the boys. I had this frame of mind, like this is what I was thinking about. Holy smokes! And then you're gonna be in a totally different reality in like a year from now, and it just goes to show like how blazing fast time goes. Mm-hmm. But you don't realize it until you start like either jumping forward or back. At least for me.
Yeah, if I didn't like take the time to just like kind of pull out of reality for a second and appreciated it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have like sent that message to Kaiser too, or if even noticed that I was doing the things I did.
Yeah. I feel like we're just like always in like the today, but we're like we never think it's gonna end. But at some point, like, dude, it's gonna be like way different. Different people around you, different roommates, different colleagues, different coworkers, different bosses, like everything you name it, like can be totally different. And like, I don't know, it's those moments where I'm like, damn, dude, like maybe I don't have it all that bad. Like maybe I'm doing all right. Maybe I do have things I can enjoy right now.
Yeah, especially you. I know you always. Sometimes you struggle to like feel that appreciation. Sometimes you really have to make it like a point to like appreciate something.
I try to appreciate it whenever possible. Yeah. Buena suerte con su idioma.
You come back next week. I see you next week, right?